Hi guys, I'm Heidi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do my very late January wrap-up part 2. So a lot of stuff has happened in January and February, but I still managed to finish 3 books in January, in addition to the ones I talked about in my January wrap-up part 1. So today I'm going to talk about those. So I finished reading The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and it was hugely popular when I was reading it in January, so I'm not entirely sure if it's as popular at the moment, but at the time it was hugely popular, and I was seeing a lot of extremely positive reviews about it, and I was very underwhelmed and I didn't really understand the hype. So if you're not aware, then this is about a woman named Nora who is severely depressed and she attempts suicide, but then she discovers that between life and death there is a library, and in that library each book represents a different path that her life could have taken. And so she sets out to explore each of those lives and undo the regrets that she has. And she is told that if she finds a life where she feels happy, she can stay in that life. Otherwise, she'd be transported back to the Midnight Library to pick a new life. It was okay. It read a bit like a self-help book, which is not really what I expected when I picked this up, and not exactly what I wanted either. There were a lot of quotes and ideas from well-known philosophers, but it was the sort of stuff that you would see as a caption on Instagram underneath a picture of a mountain range. If I wanted this sort of thing, I would go on social media or I would read a self-help book. So it felt like it lacked depth, which is weird to say because the main character has depression and the whole reason the plot exists is because she attempts suicide. So the topic is very heavy, but the whole message was sort of packaged into inspirational thoughts about not regretting things anymore, and it felt like something was missing. I suppose it's very relatable. We all have regrets about different things. I mean, that's part of life, but I don't know. I had similar feelings about The Humans as well by Matt Haig, so it might just be that I am not hugely into how this author chooses to approach these topics. The writing was fine, but nothing spectacular. It was very fragmented and sort of staccato. There were very short chapters that constantly break the flow, and that was intentional and fine, but I didn't think the writing was especially beautiful, unlike a lot of others who have read this. I just thought it was okay. And I also thought that the story was extremely predictable. As soon as you figure out how it all works, you will know how it will end. So this all sounds very negative, but I still mostly enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars in the end, but I don't think it's the most amazing book ever written, and I am not sure I get the hype. I guess this type of self-help-esque writing is just not for me. I then finished reading Dead Souls by Nikolai Gogol, and I am not going to spend time talking about this here because I already did a separate review. I will link it in the description box down below. I loved it. I thought it was slightly mad but absolutely brilliant, and if you are already familiar with 19th century Russian literature, then I would highly recommend this. And then finally I finished A Morbid Taste for Bones by Ellis. This is the first book in the Catfile Chronicles series, and it was the January pick for the Genre Raiders book club. So this is a historical cozy mystery. The plot takes place in 1137 in England. A monastery in Shrewsbury decides to acquire the remains of Saint Winifred. And Brother Catfile, who is our main character, is part of the expedition who are sent to Wales to acquire those remains. And once they get there, they find that the villagers are passionately divided on whether or not to give those remains to the monks. And then someone very important is murdered, and Brother Catfile has to figure out what is going on. I don't actually have that much to say about this. It was very cozy. The characters, especially Catfile, were likable. I usually lean towards darker and more violent reads, so it was quite refreshing to read something like this instead. As a mystery, it worked, it was fine, and I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with the series. There's like 20 books in total, and I was a bit underwhelmed, but it was still good, I liked it. If you usually enjoy cozy mysteries and you haven't given this series a try yet, then I would recommend it. So that's it. These were all the books that I finished in the second half of January. I hope you guys have been well. Let me know what you've been reading. Let me know if you've read any of these. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!